Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Money podcast, your source for all things money. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Jay Rudman on the line, and he's CEO over at TopstepTrader. Jay, welcome to the show.
Hi, Adam. Thanks. Nice to be here. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity.
All right. So I'm excited to get into today's topic. So changes going on in the FinTech industry, quite appropriate and timely. But before we get into that, let's get a little bit more into what you're doing over at TopstepTrader first. Tell us a little bit more about the company, please.
Absolutely. So TopstepTrader is really trying to change the way the retail trading industry works. There's lots of traders around the world, and unfortunately the way it works currently is they basically take their nest egg, they put it into a brokerage account, and for most retail traders, unfortunately, within 6 months, that nest egg goes from whatever it was to $0. It's kind of a dismal performance and a dismal experience. So what we're trying to do is to kind of reinvent that. And so what we do is we've kind of gamified the experience. We take retail traders and we put them into a simulated account. So they're trading real markets and real data in real time. And we call that the trading combine. And this trading combine, again, is a game. And they're performing against the markets, not against each other, but they are participating in markets. So they're getting real experiential learning about how trading works. And here's the real interesting part is, if they're successful in the trading combine, if they can play the game well, and we define that by adhering to our rules and achieving a profit target, if they can do that, we actually graduate them out of the game and we give them their own account to trade using our money. So we basically fund the account with our own proprietary capital. They never have to put their own live money into the live markets. And it's really reinventing the whole brokerage game. So again, traders don't have to put their own money at risk. They get to trade in a risk-free environment. And if they're successful, they trade our capital.
Man, what an amazing concept and thought process behind it. It sounds like you're breeding the next generation of traders, like quite literally, right?
100%. And what we're doing is we're educating them by allowing them to practice in a very safe environment, because unfortunately there's no easy way to practice any longer. Back in the days of glory, when there used to be trading pits, you used to start off as a clerk or a runner or trading a small book, and eventually you actually worked your way up the risers. We've all seen this in the movies before. And as you work your way up in the pitch, you actually end up at the top step. And that's why we call ourselves TopstepTrader. The people at the top step have the greatest visibility, are trading the largest book, and basically are often the most successful traders. Now that the pit world is gone and people can screen trade, there's really no apprenticeship. There's no onboarding ramp into the trading industry. And so we're trying to slow that down, give traders the opportunity to practice in a very safe environment, but also giving them capital to those that are successful.
Man, I love what you're doing. And by the way, I just made the connection to that. That's what it's from, TopstepTrader. I'm like, I know I've heard the term before, but I haven't heard anybody say it in so long. I just made the connection. That's awesome. So Jay, that being said, I do want to get into, because you've been in the industry for a long time, I want to get into, what you see in terms of FinTech, like how the type of changes that it's making in the industry. I think you just kind of showed some of the things. Obviously, the pits are gone and some other things that's pretty much done. And now, it's a different model of trading. Like, what, from your vantage point, is interesting in FinTech right now?
Yeah, absolutely. And so the FinTech ecosystem is a pretty large ecosystem, and I can't even pretend that I am an expert in things like blockchain and payments and, InsurTech and
Internet of
so
Things.
it's very wide. Yeah, exactly. It's very wide, and it's probably a misnomer as to what FinTech means. But I can tell you in the trading and brokerage world that a couple of things have changed dramatically. One is everyone's aware Robinhood came. And what Robinhood did was they basically took the brokerage industry by storm by creating a better UX, a very easy, simple app to enable the millennials and the Gen Zers to get interested in this investing and trading concept. But what happened was is that all of these millennials and Gen Zers took a very small percentage of their own capital, maybe a couple $100 up to maybe $1,000, put it into the Robinhood app because it's a zero commission, easy user interface, and unfortunately bounced out, meaning that they basically lost the game. And they didn't know what to do thereafter. And so two things happened. They basically had no education, and they also had a distaste for trading at that point in time because they didn't profit from it. It's a poor analogy, but it's an apt analogy. It is if you walked into a casino, you put all your money on red on a roulette wheel, the wheel spun, it came up black, you walked away and said that was no fun. That's kind of what Robinhood did. So it suppressed commissions and really hurt the remaining brokerage industry because it's hard to make money in commissions at this point in time. But it also gave a bad taste to the new traders in the industry who might be interested in how to profit not just from their labor, which is basically, the gig economy has really enabled people to drive cars and make money, deliver groceries and make money, do all sorts of things and make money. But the gig economy has not really taught people how to make money from capital. Right. And so, the Robinhood world was maybe the first step into that, but it really didn't do justice to what's the capability. And so we believe that there needs to be in the fintech world a better way, as already alluded to, for people to be able to dip their toes into these capital markets, appreciate that an educated trader is a better trader, and that they don't have to risk this $250 or $1,000 or $10,000 to actually be successful. So that's one change that's occurred in the fintech world. The second change, to no surprise, this COVID-19 thing has decimated markets, right? You have seen that the Dow has gone down, into the bear territory and continues to fall. But volatility is a really interesting thing because people love, bulls and hate bears, but that's not necessarily true. Traders can make money as long as the markets are moving. And for the last 10 years, it's been a bull run where everyone was a genius basically saying, well, if I buy, one of the FANG stocks, I can't go wrong. Well, all of a sudden people are starting to understand, well, the market's moving both directions, but there's money to be made both directions. And so the new change in the trading space is not only what happened in the Robinhood world, but volatility is in game now, and there's money to be made if you can safely engage in those markets and understand how markets can move in both directions.
Yeah, and the way I see it, just timing-wise, your concept and what you're doing it's just perfect. In all reality, just when you think about like the user base of millennials, they didn't live through 2008, really. Some did, but I guess we use that term millennial as a pretty wide bandwidth of ages, but a lot of them graduated college like after 2008. So because they didn't really go through that, they didn't have any money in the market. They may have seen it right through what their parents went through, but it's different when you go through it yourself. So they, like you said, everybody was a genius, right? They got out of college, they put some money in their 401k or something else. It just kept going up. That's the way the markets work. My analogy, but my personal situation was I started out pretty young in finance when I first got in the business, not in the business now, but I remember like when I started in my first firm, it was 2007. It was the height of the market. Then it went all the way down to 2008. That was my introduction to the market and seeing what it was. So I always had a unique respect for understanding how money could be made on both sides of the trade, right? But for the other group that came in after me age-wise, like you're in that perfect space because the education piece, like you said, that education piece it's missing. Like a Robinhood or some other things, it's missing. And it's hard for, I think, a lot of firms to figure out that education piece, especially with their margins being squeezed on commissions, right?
100%. Plus, a lot of people have a lot of time right now. Everyone is, self-isolating, and you are trying to figure out, especially those folks, unfortunately, it happens, who are no longer employed or are at least underemployed. And they're looking for a new skill set. And again, if you can't get out and do a gig economy skill based upon your labor capabilities, you now have capital and time that you could apply. And that's perfect for basically being able to profit in the market. So I agree. There's a nice convergence that's really, providing that tailwind for TopStep, and not just for TopStep, I think for the fintech space overall, because I think trading is one of those areas that, the screen, the technology, the algorithms, the social sharing around trading. There's so many things that are occurring online that are outside of the purview of TopstepTrader, but that our retail traders around the world are using, can really empower people to be successful in these markets.
Yeah, it really is an exciting time. I mean, it's not obviously for some not the best of time, but we get that. But there's always opportunity. So that being said, Jay, if somebody's listening to this and they want to learn more about TopstepTrader or to connect or to follow your work, what's the best way for them to do that?
Well, there's two ways actually. One is by going to our website, www.topsteptrader.com. And we also have that's to enable people to trade the futures products that we offer. We also offer foreign exchange products. So that's www.topstepfx.com. So either way will get you to where you want to go.
Man, that's awesome. Well, hey, Jay, it's been great having you on the show. Appreciate your FinTech insights and you letting us know about all the great work you're doing over at TopstepTrader. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review on the Apple iTunes Store, and if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, Mission Matters Money, definitely give us a subscribe there, but also leave us some comments on the video. Love to hear what you're working on and what kind of things you have going on in your world. Let's continue the conversation over in the YouTube community. And Jay, thanks again for coming on the show.